Hello everyone, I am Karan Mashru. Welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to discuss solution of the problem of the day, that is next smallest palindrome. First of all, let us start by understanding the question. What does question say? It says that given a number in the form of an array num of size n containing digits from 1 to 9 inclusive. The task is to find the next smallest palindrome which is strictly larger than the given number. So basically what they are saying is that in the input we are given an array num which contains n number of elements, and the elements in this array are nothing but the digits from 1 to 9. So 1, 2, 3 up to 9. The elements in this array will be any one of this, and this basically represents a number. So what does it basically mean is that suppose I have an array whose first element is 3, second is 2, third is 1, then 9, then 8. So basically this array is representing nothing but 3, 2, 1, 9, 8. It is basically representing this number. So we are given a number in the form of an array where each element is one digit of the number. We need to find next smallest palindrome. What does it mean? If we break down the word next smallest palindrome, palindrome means the number should be palindrome, which we get as an answer. What is the meaning of palindrome? It should read the same if we read it from start to end and if we read it from end to start. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. From start to end it is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. From end to start also it is 1, 2, 3, 1. So this is a palindrome. What is the meaning of next? Next means the number should occur after the given number. So our answer should be greater than 32,198. And what is the meaning of next smallest? Next smallest means, see, we need to return a palindrome which is greater than, strictly greater than 32,198 in case of this example. Now there are infinitely many possibilities. After 32,198 of a number to be palindrome, there are infinitely many numbers, but we need to return the number which is the smallest. So it is next smallest means it should be larger than 32,198, but after that it should occur first on the number line. So if this is the number line, this is 32,198. If we move on like this, the first number which occurs, which is a palindrome, is the next as well as the smallest among all the palindromes which are after this. So it is the next smallest palindrome. So we need to return the number which is smallest but which is larger than the given input number and which is a palindrome. Okay, now let's read further. So if we look at the example, our first input is in the form of a size of an array of size 11, and the numbers are 94187978322. The output for this is this. So we need to basically return an array or a vector which is which represents the digits of the next smallest palindrome number. Okay, so this is the palindrome and it will be greater than this, because if we look at here the fifth digit is 7, here the fifth digit is 8, all these digits are same. So this is greater than this and it will also be the smallest. Okay, then if we look at the second example, we have 23545 and the answer for that is 23632. Okay, it is the next smallest. Our task is to complete this function which takes array num and a single integer n, which is the size of the array, as input parameters, and return an array of integers denoting the answer. You do not need to print or answer or take any inputs. The expected time complexity is big O of n and expected auxiliary space is constant, and the constraints are given here. So now if we think about the solution, then first thing which we should think about is that, see, here the number is given in the form of an array and the array can have up to 10 to the power 5 digits. So we cannot convert this into a single variable and then operate it. Like, so for example, if I have a number 32,198, I can convert it into an integer variable from this array, then keep incrementing one value, and at each point I'll check whether that number is a palindrome or not. The first point which I get is a palindrome, is the next smallest palindrome, and I'll return it as the answer. But here we cannot do this. Why? Because the length of the array n is less than or equal to 10 to the power 5. It means that number of digits in that number is 10 to the power 5. Understand? Don't get confused. If the value of the number is 10 to the power 5, it has a 6 digits, 1 followed by 5 zeros. Number of digits is 6. Here the number is given in the form of an array where the array elements represents the digits of the number, and the number of digits is 10 ki power 5 at max. So it is 1 followed by 10 ki power 5 zeros. So it's a very huge number. So we cannot store it in a single variable and then loop over and find whether it is a palindrome or not. We cannot store it in a variable, right? Variables do not have that much capacity. We will definitely get overflow. It is a very huge number. So we need to think in terms of array only, and we need to think about some logic. Now if we look at the word next smallest palindrome, so it should be a palindrome and it should be next smallest. So next means it should be greater than the original number, strictly greater than. That is the first thing. Now if I am given two numbers in the form of an array, how can I compare which number is greater? The way to compare is, if we start moving from MSB to LSB, and the first digit which is differing in both the arrays, the array in which it is greater, the number will be greater. For example, if I have an array which represents digits 1 2 3 9 9, okay, and I have another array, so basically it's 12 3 99. I have another array in which 1 2 4 1 1. So basically the number is 12 4 1 1. Now if I start moving from MSB to LSB, the first digit which are different, in this I will see in which it is greater. Here it is greater, it means that this number is greater than this, and we can already see here 12,411 is greater than 12,399, irrespective of the digits which are after that. So if I am given two numbers in the form of an array, which number will be greater? The number in which the first digit which differs starting from MSB to LSB and it is greater in an array, that number would be greater. First thing. Second thing, if I want, so this is about the next part. Now next smallest palindrome. What about the smallest part? The number should be greater than the current number, but it should be as small as possible. See, if we think about this, then the digit at which it differs should be as far as possible. For example, if I have a number 1 4 5 8 8, okay, if I have another number which is 1 5 0 0 0, and if I have another number 1 4 5 9 9, now both of these are greater. This is also greater than this, and this is also greater than this. But which is smaller? This one is smaller. Why? Because the first digit which differs in this array and in this array is nearer to the LSB. So here the first digit which differs is this, and here the first digit which differs is this. So this is smaller than this. So, and if we think what would have happened here, if I have to add some number which is of the form 1 and some extra values here. So basically this is 15,000 minus 14,588. Okay, so what I need to add here, 2 1, and this would be 4. So I need to add 412 to this number in order to get 15,000. But if I look at this, I need to add only 11. 14599 minus 14588. So I have to add only 11. So both of them are greater than this original number, but this is smaller than 15,000. Why? Because the addition which we are doing is a smaller number. And how can we judge it from the array? We can tell that the digit at which it differs is closer to the LSB. Okay, so here this is the digit which differs from the original array, the first digit which differs from the original array while moving from MSB to LSB, and here it is this digit. Okay, this much is clear now. So next smallest, so we have understood next how we can tell using array whether one number is greater than or other. Next smallest, so if we want to achieve next smallest, the changes which we make or the addition of numbers which we make should be as close as possible to the LSB. We have seen these two things. Third is the palindrome. If we are given an array, how can we check whether that number represents a palindrome number or not? Simple. we can compare pairwise elements. So suppose 1 2 3 4 3 2 1, this is my array elements. So does it represents a palindromic number? Yes. How we can tell? We will compare the first and the last element, the second last and the second element, and these two elements, and this is the centermost element. Since these two are same, these two are same, these two are same, and the center is same as itself, so it is a palindromic number. So we can do it in this way. Now let's use all these three concepts and try to solve the question. So now what we can do is, using these three concepts, see what we can do is, we will divide the number from center into two parts, and for the right hand side, which are the least significant numbers as compared to the left side, we will see what changes we need to make in order to make them a palindrome, right? We will check like this pairwise. If out of all the changes, the first change which needs to be done is increasing the element, then it would be the greater element as compared to the original array. For example, if we take this example, see what is it? 8 9 4 3 3 2 6 6. Now let us break it into two parts. So this and this should be same, this and this should be same, this and this should be same, and this and this should be same, right? Now let us check in this part and see what changes needs to be done. So do we need to change anything to this? No. Should we do anything, any change to this? Yes, I need to add 2 such that it becomes 4, right? Here I need to make it 9, and this I need to make it 8. Okay, but what we are here seeing is that the first digit which needs the changes, see this doesn't need a change, this needs the change, is incrementing its value. So it would be definitely greater number than the original array, no matter what we are doing with these digits. Even for example, if I tell you, suppose let us take here, in place of this, let us take 9. Okay, so this is 9, this is 9. Okay, now I will have to decrement it to make this equal to 8. But since out of all these three changes, this is the most significant term having the most value, since this is to be incremented, it will be greater element as compared to the original number. So what I'll do is, see, I'll keep this part as it is. Why I am trying to keep this part as it is? Because I want the next smallest. So for next element, we saw that for the numbers which should be greater than the original number, the first differing digit starting from MSB should be greater in them. But in order to find the smallest possible value, this change should be as close to LSB as possible. So I am not trying to make changes in this, I am trying to make changes in this. So this will remain 3 only, this will become 4, this will become 9, and I'll decrement this, this will become 8. Is this a palindrome? Yes. Is this greater than the original array? Yes, because the first differing digit is greater in this. Is this the next smallest? Yes, because I need to increment this. Okay, other things also I can do. I can make this also 9 and this also 9. The first digit I can make 9, but that will not be the next smallest. We will get next smallest when we will make the change as close as possible to the LSB. So this is our answer. But what if the first digit which we need to change when we are looking at the right hand side part is decrementing? Then that number would be less than our original array. So for example, if we look at the second example, it is 7 6 1 4 5 4 3 8 8, right? So there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9 digits. I'll break it from here. 4 and 4 is same. If I look at 1 and 3, I need to decrement 3. Then I'll make this as 6 and this as 7. But I need 1 here, I need 6 here, and I need 7 here. But the number which I will get would not be greater than the original array. This is a palindrome, but it is not greater. I need strictly greater. So now what I need to do is, I need to make changes somewhere here. Is it clear? So shall I make this as 3? So if I make 7 6 3 4 5 4 3 6 7, this number is greater than this element. Yes. Is it a palindrome? Yes. Why it is greater? Because the first differing digit is greater in this. But is it the next smallest? No. If I can increase, if the first digit which I need to make change on the right hand side, I have to increment it, it will directly give me next smallest digit, because it is as close possible to LSB. But in this case I am making change in this digit. What would have been a better idea is that I increment the value on the center part, that is 5. So what I should do is, suppose the number is 761454388. Suppose this is the number, right? So instead of making this 3, what I'll do is I'll make this, instead of 5, that was 5, I'll make it 6. Now I'll not make any changes on the left hand side. I'll copy these elements on the right hand side. So this will remain 4, this will become 1, and this will become 6, and this will become 7. So my number would be 761464167. Is this a palindrome? Yes. Is this larger than the original number? Yes, because if I compare it with the original number, this is the first differing place. In original number it was 5, here I have 6. Is it the next smallest? Yes, because I have tried to make the change as possible as to LSB as possible, right? So this is also a palindrome and the next smallest palindrome. So we have seen two cases. We will see on the right hand side of the number, if the first differing digit which I need to change in order to make it a palindrome is incrementing in nature. So here it, from 2 it became 4, then it will give me next smallest palindrome. If it is decrementing, like here I need to make 3 as 1, so it will decrement the number, but I want a strictly larger number, so I need to make changes somewhere here. So the closest number to the LSB which I should make change in order to get next smallest possible number is the centermost element. In this case there were total odd number of elements, there were 9 elements, so we choose the centermost element. In other cases what we will do, so for example 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9. Okay, so if I write it here 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9, so break it from here. Here I need to decrement 7, but I will not decrement it because that will make the overall number small, so I need to increment something. So what I'll do, I'll increment this number. In case of odd numbers, you increment the centermost element. In case of even number of elements, you increment this last element. Now just copy these numbers as it is and make pairwise similar elements. So this will become 7, this will become 5, this will become 4, and this will become 3. Is this a palindrome? Yes. Is this larger than the original number? Yes, because the first differing digit is larger in this. Is this the next smallest? Yes, because I have tried to make incrementing the value as close as LSB as possible. And the last test case can be something like this, where your number of digits would increase. So it is 999. Now here what we need to do is the next, see, now you cannot increment anything on the right hand side, so you will add 1 year. Let us suppose you added 1 year, so this will become 0, this will become 0, this will become 0, this will become 1. Now what you will do, you will make these two as zeros and these two as 1. You will make a copy, but here the number of digits will increase by 1. Is this a palindrome? Yes. Is it the next smallest? Yes. So these are basically the two cases. Just to conclude, from the center part we'll move on to the right hand side, which are the less significant numbers. In that we will see the first differing digit in order to make it palindrome, whether we have to increment it or decrement it. If we have to increment it, we will increment it, and for the remaining elements we will just copy the left hand side, so it becomes palindrome. In case the first digit which differs in, we have to decrement it. So here from 3 I have to make it 1. That will not work because it will not give me larger number. So I'll increment the centermost element so that it becomes next largest element, and then remaining I'll just copy paste so that it becomes a palindrome. Okay, I'll keep the left hand side as it is, and on the right hand side I'll copy paste the left hand side, right? I'll not make changes on the left hand side because that will not give me next smallest, right? We need the next smallest possible element. Now let's look at its implementation. Now if we talk about the implementation part, so I have taken a vector answer in which we will store the answer because we have to return a vector. I have initially marked solved variable as 0. It is a flag variable which will tell us whether we need to proceed further or not. Okay, this carry I'll explain you further. Now I'll check from the right hand side part, if we divide the array into two parts, on the right hand side I'll check the first digit which I need to make the change. Do I need to increment it or decrement it? So it will start from n plus 1 by 2. So for example, if my array is 0 1 2 3 4, so n is 5. From where I need to start? From here. So it is 5 plus 1 by 2, that is 6 by 2, that is 3. If my array length is even, that is 1 2 3 4 5, okay, I need to start checking from here. N is 6, n plus 1 by 2 would be 7 by 2, and it will give me index 3. So again I'll start checking from here to here, okay. So from there it comes n plus 1 by 2 and less than n. If the num of I is less than num of I minus n minus I minus 1, so I am talking about the respective element on the left hand side. So suppose this is 3, so n minus I minus 1 would be what? N is how much? 6, minus 3 minus 1 is how much? 2. So this is the respective element which I need to check while checking for the palindrome. So I'll see whether it is less than this, then I need to increment it. So what I'll do, I'll make it equal to this, and now I know that I have got a number larger than the original number, right? So now I just, from I plus 1 to n, I'll just copy the numbers, the respective numbers on the left hand side to make it a palindrome, and it will be the next smallest palindrome. I'll mark solved as 1 and I'll break from the loop. But the first digit which do not match in order to make the palindrome is greater than the respective digit. So I have to increment the number on the left hand side, which we saw. Suppose 1 3, this is 5 and this is 1. So here this is greater than this, so I need to increment this. So in that case what we do, we try to increment the centermost number, so it is closest to LSB. So what we do, we simply break and our solved variable will remain 0. But if the solved variable is 1, it means if it is this case, then we'll push all the elements in our answer and then return the answer. If we were not able to solve, if it is not from this case and if it is from this case, then let's see what we will do. So now as we saw, if it is not from the first case, then what we will do, we will increase the element on the centermost part, right? So that will be represented by n minus 1 by 2. So we will move from there to 0 and I'll initially mark carry as 1. So basically carry as 1 means I am incrementing that number. So if after adding that number it becomes 10, so number can only become 10. If that integer is 9 and the carry is 1, it can become 10. It can never go 11 12 and so on, okay. So if it is 10, then at this index I'll get 0 and the carry will be forwarded further. If it is not 10, suppose there was 5 and I carry was 1, so 5 plus 1 will become 6. So I do not need to check for further elements, so I'll simply increment it. I'll make carry equals to 0 and I'll break it, okay. Now after coming out of this, if carry is still 1, when it would be 1? When all the numbers are 9, which saw the last example. In that case our carry would be the first element. We will increase the number of digits, so I'll push carry as in our answer, then I'll push the remaining elements, and if carry was equals to 1, I'll increment the number of elements. Now understand this, I have only made changes on the left hand side part. So for example, 4 5 6 7, let's say 8, and so this is 1 2 3 4 5 and let's say 9, okay. So here I saw that I need to increment this, so I made this as 7, right? And but I need to still make these according to this. So this should become 7, this should become 5, and this should become what? 4. So final answer would be 4 5 7 7 5 4. I have not made these changes. So what I'll do, from n plus 1 by 2 to n, I'll simply make answer of I equals to answer of n minus I minus 1. I'll take the respective element in order to make it a palindrome. I have already pushed all the elements. Now I need to make changes on the right hand side, so I'll do it, and then finally I'll return the answer. What would be the time complexity and space complexity? Time complexity would be big O of n because we are running some loops, right? And the auxiliary space required here will also be big O of n, because here it is said that we require a constant space in the question. But if you understand, in the input they have given integer array num, and in the output we need to return a vector. So in C++ we will have to take a vector of size n. We cannot replace the original array with the answer, because in the input it is array, output we need to return vector. So in C++ we have taken a vector of size n which will occupy this much space. In case you are solving it with other languages like C or something else, where you can make changes to the original array and return it to the answer, in that case the space complexity would be big O of 1. Now let's submit this code. So let us submit it. And we have solved this question successfully. I hope you have understood the solution completely. Thank you.